Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate all of you being here and being a part of this. We live stream here every weekday starting around 1 p.m., going throughout the afternoon right here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. You can find us on our YouTube channel at kptv.com or, of course, on the Fox 12 Oregon app. So we cover a wide range of topics here with this show, but we're starting off on Monday talking about Brett's Base Fund. We're going to talk about this charitable organization and what all is involved with that, and a benefit concert coming up for that as well. So a lot to get through. To do so, we are joined now by Executive Director Kristina Haddad. And Kristina, thank you for being here with us today to talk about this. I'm a bass player as well, so I know there's a couple other bass players in the office. So I appreciate that aspect of it, but there's something much bigger than just playing bass. And that's what we wanted to talk about this and all these things that I just mentioned. But I think to start off, could you just tell us, maybe a little bit about yourself and how Brett's Base Fund got started and the origin story of the whole thing?
Yeah, excellent. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, for having us, and for highlighting what we're doing. I love that you're a bass player. And then there's others in the office. But yeah, so the fund was started in memory in honor of my late husband, Brett Rothfield. He was a bass player, a very prolific bass player. People would, whenever they heard him play, say like, okay, you're probably the best I've ever been with. Yeah, so it was started in his honor. He passed in August 2021. He died by suicide. I like to be open about that. His friends, our friends, we wanted to carry on his legacy, and so music was his greatest passion. The bass was his instrument. This is his bass right here, one of many. And so, yeah, so we started the fund to give out scholarships to people that want to learn the bass that don't have the resources or support or need some kind of support. So that's kind of like the tiny nutshell of how this all got started.
I mean, that's for one. I'm very sorry for your loss and for everyone who lost in that. And I appreciate also that you were upfront on that. As you mentioned, it's important to be for that. But looking at the side of him being a bass player, as you mentioned, having people come up and say you're the best that I've ever seen, means he was probably pretty good. Nobody's saying that to me, but for that, the idea to carry on this legacy of that, let's talk about the Brett's Base Fund. You mentioned how you wanted to start it for this, but there's a that's a big step. There's a lot that goes into that to starting that. So once you got it started, what has it been like? Having this going and interacting with some of these other people who you're helping out.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be more. It's actually surpassed, I think, our vision, to be honest. It really speaks to like the need and the desire and hunger for this kind of thing. But yeah, we officially really launched last year, and we raised the bulk of our money doing what we call a noise-a-thon. So it takes place every May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, and people pledge to make some kind of noise. It can be music. People have sung lullabies to their babies. It could be singing karaoke. It could be chopping vegetables. But some kind of noise every day for 15 minutes a day in the month of May, and then you get sponsored like a walkathon. So we raised the bulk of our money doing that, which has been incredible because it's been like a full community thing. Like people are actually practicing something and then they're paying it forward. Those funds go directly to the fund. And we don't have a staff, no one's paid. We're all volunteer. And we gave out our first round of scholarships last year, 7. And the impact, I feel like I said, is just surpassed the feedback that we've gotten from the participants. And it's open to any age across the country. And there are a few that are here in the local Portland metro area. But all of them across the board have really spoken to the positive impact it's had on their mental health, which has been an aspect of this. And I can go on and on about that, but I'll
Well, there's a couple of things I want to talk about in there, but I mean, let's go to that. Like, how important do you think playing music is, for people, for their mental health, for their development, for their, a way to, I guess, have a creative outlet?
It's so important. I mean, I myself am an artist in another way, and an actor and writer, but I took up the bass just because I felt like if I was going to be a part of this, I wanted to know what our scholarship recipients, like their experience. And I can say personally, it has hugely therapeutic. And I've done a lot of reading on the benefits of learning an instrument, playing music, and really any kind of like way that you can express yourself, whether it's through writing or cooking or, you know, singing, painting, but music in particular, it has a very therapeutic kind of, you know, this- someone who's a musician yourself, but meditative quality.
Hmm.
And, you know, feedback we've had from our participants has been that it actually really has like a really positive benefit for them, that it's been, and you know, one of our participants said that it's really, they're prone to anxiety. It really is like calm their anxiety and just giving yourself something to you know, focus on, that's outside of your own what's going on here. You have to really be in the moment when you're doing this. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, that is true. You've got to be there at the moment, but also, you know, you're taking that in. There's just so many positives that can come out of that. Yeah, something else you mentioned, you were talking about the 7 scholarship winners. Can you go into that a little bit more about how people apply for the scholarship and what it is that they receive with each one of these scholarships?
Yes, yes. And that's why I'm so happy to be on today, because we really want to reach as many people as possible. And like I said, all ages. But it's we made the process very simple. There is a link on our website, and it's just a very brief essay explaining why. We also ask the question, what's your favorite kind of pizza? That's, you know, very, very heavy,
Very
heavy
serious debates there.
very heavy concepts here, but Brett was a huge pizza lover, so we thought we'd throw that in as a little thing. But yeah, it's a very simple application, as well as if someone wants to include a video of why, like a video testimony of why. And the other piece of it is that you can nominate yourself. Other people can nominate you, or you can nominate yourself. So, you know, we purposely made it simple. What the recipients get is a year's worth of bass lessons, a bass guitar setup. So the bass, the amp, the, you know, tuner, the, you know, all the wires and all that stuff, and then mentorship with a professional musician. So we have the most incredible board, and also our mentors are just off the charts, like really, really, really very successful and accomplished musicians. And they then kind of attach to one of our recipients and are available to, you know, answer questions. Like some of our recipients want to pursue this, some of them it's just a hobby. But we thought it was important to have the mentorship component as part of it.
Absolutely, yeah, to have somebody guide. I mean, there's always going to be those questions, and especially if you're just starting out, that's so cool to have that access, you know, to someone like that, someone from the community. I guess to that extent, for the, you know, what's the reaction been like from the music community as a whole, both locally and I guess nationally, since you started it?
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Yeah, we have a handful of our mentors are and teachers are here in the local community, and they're very involved in other ways in the music community. And I know we're going to get to talking about the concert, the benefit concert, which has 3 local stellar bands, and we have people involved because Brett and I moved up from Los Angeles, and he was originally from New York, so we have some mentors and board members that are based in Los Angeles, and supporters really all across the country. I have one supporter that is just, you know, found out about us. He's on the East Coast and is a bass player, and like really is like full tilt boogie into what we're doing, which is fantastic. So we're growing. We're like really, you know, I'd love to reach every bass player out there. You know, I know the bass gets sometimes, you know, kind of like set aside. And so it's like, you know, I mean, this is a very special community. And so we're really trying to, yeah, get as many people like on board, in particular, people that are, you know, passionate about the bass.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, as you mentioned, you know, sometimes people forget about the bass being up there. The bass is a very important component of any band. You can't do it without the rhythm section, and you need the bass for that.
Yeah. Yep. 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 So,
Excuse me. So let's talk about the benefit concert. So you mentioned that that is coming up, and this is going to be in January. So people have a little bit of time here to plan this out, to be a part of this. But you mentioned there's bands. Tell us about what all is involved with this benefit concert and how people can come out and enjoy this and participate.
Yeah, I am just like, I am so giddy about it because first of all, we have three incredible bands. We have Major Tomboys, which is a all-female David Bowie cover band. They're
That is a
phenomenal.
fantastic name. Sorry, I just had to.
I know, and
That's so good.
they are just off the charts. And we have Amanda Richards and the Good Long Whiles, again off the charts. These are bands that I'm like so honored to have participate. And Bees in a Bottle, again, phenomenal band. All three slightly different styles and some crossover musicians actually in between. One of our musicians is playing in all three bands. God love her. Yeah. So three like super, 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 super top-notch bands, and you get them all in one night. Um, we also have a couple, definitely one of our scholarship participants is going to be playing, and I heard him practice, and I was like, wow, it was pretty. I got emotional listening to that. And hopefully a few more. We've got a raffle. We're getting as many raffle items in from a variety of local businesses and things, to help raise some extra funds. So I'm really, really excited about some of the things we're getting from that. And yeah, potential few maybe surprises, still still kind of knitting away, seeing what other things we can drop into the mix. And the tickets are, $20. There's a VIP $50 section. But it's at the Alberta Abbey. Really awesome venue. And it's really going to be a celebration of music, and our scholarship participants, and really want to hopefully reach more people about the scholarship program and getting people to nominate themselves or someone else. And
Yeah, I was going to say that nomination process. I imagine that's a big, big part of that as well.
yes, yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. There they are.
Pulling that up. Well, for everybody out there who's watching this and is planning to go to the concert, and maybe they're just finding out about Brett Space Fund, you mentioned getting involved. I want to reiterate that to everybody. So whether it's nominating someone or encouraging someone to nominate themselves, what's the best way to interact with Brett Space Fund and participate, whether that's donating or nominating or whatever way it is that somebody could get involved?
Absolutely. And thank you so for that, because those are the elements, is like scholarship, concert, raising funds. Those are the three things. So yeah, my email address is on the website, brettspacefund.org. It's Kristina@brettspacefund.org. You can totally reach out to me directly, and happy to answer any questions. And then if you have questions about the scholarship nomination process, again, we made it super simple. We just want this to be, I think one important thing to say is, like, especially when people are struggling, and I know it's that time of year too, it's hard to just do anything, right? So we felt it was really important to make the nomination process just super simple. I mean, you still have to, articulate why and things like that, but really important. And I guess I would add, because it is that time of year, it's could make for a good gift for a music loving friend, tickets to a really awesome concert, or so that's something else I wanted to mention.
Absolutely. Well, Kristina, thank you very much, for having time to talk to us about this and for what you're doing there, to help out all these different people, doing it in memory of Brett, and, bringing that aspect of music that's so important, for so many people, and giving people the opportunity who may not have the opportunity or the means to do this. It's like, hey, here's everything you need, and here's an expert to talk to. That's pretty cool.
Totally. And just, I guess I'd say to that is, like, never underestimate like what a small thing, it just makes me emotional, but a very small thing can make a huge, huge difference. And that's what I know it's like there's so many things in the world, but just this one thing we've already seen can make a huge difference in someone's life. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I appreciate you being here.
We do too. Thanks, Greg. I want to play.
You bet. Thanks, Kristina. And for everybody who is watching, again, this is Fox 12 Now. We're live here. We're going to take a break. We'll be back throughout the afternoon. If there's ever breaking news between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., this is the place to go. We'll send out a notice about that. But we cover lots of other topics and segments in between those. So I'll be back at 1:30. I will talk to you then. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.